Good evening, and hello, my friends. It's Barry Harding-Rathbone speaking to you from SpiritShackTV, our portal for spiritual guidance, philosophy, and occasional paranormal investigations. I want to talk to you tonight about heeding the signs. Firstly, you can see I'm in bed. Here I am, lying on our bed, which I've been forced to do by my consultant endocrinologist after having an MRI earlier this week as part of my ongoing treatment for my testosterone deficiency, to find out that my pituitary gland is not working as well as it should, and I now have a severe risk of a major stroke and heart disease. And she was very honest and very blunt with me. She always treats me with the same respect she'd treat a fellow doctor. Sorry about the shakes, but I'm holding the phone in my hand and I do have a bit of a hand tremor at the moment. But she is concerned that I'm at risk of a major stroke for the second time in my life and the possibility of a heart attack or coronary heart disease due to the lack of testosterone and the damage that has been done to my pituitary gland, both of which have been caused by far too many years of taking high levels of opioids, morphine sulfate, and oral morphine for breakthrough pain, which I have enforced with my GP over the last year to reduce down from 1 gram 3 times a day. I'm now back down to 10 milligrams 3 times a day with gabapentin to support it. So I'm getting better. But she's diagnosed me with clinical exhaustion. And I have to say, after doing 60 hours a week for a number of weeks, mostly mental, obviously very little physical, but still very stressful, in the part-time catalogue distribution business that John and I have, it's all got too much. And in fact, on Wednesday night, I was talking to my boss explaining that I had to have 3 weeks off, his answer being, well, I'll shut your account down then. I completely lost it, went into a TIA, a trans-ischemic attack, or a mini stroke if you like, and I called him some very unprofessional names, which normally would have probably ended up with anybody in the workplace getting the sack immediately. Luckily, he understood and he accepted my apology later, especially after John had explained what happens when I have these TIAs. So now I'm on 3 weeks virtual bed rest. I can go out and do little things, but that's it. I said about watching the signs. I should have seen this coming ages ago. You cannot do this many hours that John and I have been doing without some ramifications on your body, and John's dystonia has been getting worse, my pain levels have been worse, my ability to move and function have been impaired, I've got permanent tremors. If you look at this hand, this is the worst one. As you can see, it just doesn't stop. I have been dropping things, I can't eat food properly at the moment, and so I just need to rest. But I didn't watch the signs, or perhaps more honestly, I chose to ignore the signs. You only get one chance of health in this world, and this weakened, frail thing that we call a body that carries us round can only do its job if we help it by recognizing when things need changing. If our car starts to make a funny clunking sound, unless we're very stubborn and wait for it to actually go wrong, we take it to the mechanic at the garage, or the car's doctor if you like, and we get him to diagnose the problem, and then he scratches his head and goes. Meanwhile, his wife has gone behind him and done the job and fixed it. And we think about those things because they cost us physical money and therefore they have a value, but we don't look at our bodies often enough. So do take care of your bodies, my friends. It's very, very important. But just to extend that principle of watching out for signs on a spiritual level, we are living in a time of immense change across the surface of this planet. We have numerous conflicts on every continent on the surface of the earth. We have governments in disorder. We have governments becoming stricter and tighter and restricting the liberties, freedoms and the support they offer to their communities, especially those of us who are classed as vulnerable citizens. We are in a time of flux. Those of us who are normally peaceful, loving and compassionate people by nature, I hope that's a bit better for you, are finding that we suddenly start having arguments with our nearest and dearest for no fathomable reason, or for silly things that we hadn't really given consideration to. We find that our neighbours start arguments with us for no reason. We have problems in the workplace that again seem to have come out of thin air. And we have otherwise peaceful communities who, like at the moment on the streets of East London and in Manchester and various other places around the UK, are resorting to small-scale rioting and community troublemaking, rather than their normal way of living, which is compassionate, caring, inclusive societies. Why is this happening? Because spiritually we are in a time of flux. The new Jerusalem, the new earth that has been talked about for 2,000 years in the New Testament of the Christian Bible, and the eternal kingdom talked about in the Quran in Islam, and the works in the Bhagavad Gita, and virtually all the spiritual guidance works and journals and histories and teaching materials over the last couple of thousand years, 2 millennia, are beginning to come true. But for change to happen for the best, there has to be a clear out, and with the clear out comes problems. In a couple of days, I will be recording a live trance session, which I've been asked to do by some of the spiritual hierarchy through my guide, Morning Star. And I'll be placing it on here for you to watch. I will also do it as a live link event on Facebook. So those of you who wish to ask questions of whoever it is who overshadows me or takes me over may do so via that facility. So watch out for that on SpiritShackTV, on the Community of St. John the Divine's Faithworks page on Facebook, as well as the SpiritShackTV Facebook page, and my own personal profile, or Reverend Jonathan Harding-Rathbone's profile as well. I need a few days rest, so I'll be strong enough to do it, so you may not see me for a few days, but the next recording you hear or see will be that trance recording, which will happen live here in the UK, and we will give you as much notice as we possibly can so that as many of you can join in as possible and ask your questions. Don't be afraid to. These loving souls from the spirit realms and the hierarchy of spirit come down and close to earth at times of momentous change, and they have much to tell and share with all of us, I'm sure. Unlike you, who will be able to hear and see it live, I won't know until afterwards, because I never know what's being said, so I'll have to watch it in the cutting room. But nothing will be edited out. It will just be put up on here on YouTube as an live recording from beginning to end, warts and all. So those of you who can't join in will be able to listen and watch, and hopefully see those who do take me into trance and overshadow me. I look forward to meeting with them, because the love they bring is always very, very comforting and gives me a sense of well-being as well. And I look forward to hearing and seeing from as many of you as possible. If you've liked what I've said, if it's made sense to you, I'd like you to hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos from me and my occasional guests, then also please click the subscribe button. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment. And until we meet again, may your interpretation of the Divine Creator be with you always. May you be surrounded by love, healing, and whatever positive energy you need to get you through your life. Namaste.